pour une conférence de presse. Vous allez vite comprendre pourquoi nous avons choisi cet endroit. Alors, aujourd'hui, nous sommes là pour le lancement d'une campagne que nous avons baptisée We've Got the Swing. Il ne s'agit pas de parler de musique ou de danse, quoique vous verrez peut-être un peu à la fin. Non, il s'agit en fait de parler de golf et de protection de la côte, de l'environnement. Ces deux thématiques sont a priori vraiment aux antipodes l'une de l'autre. Et vous verrez comment nous faisons le pont entre ces deux thématiques. Nous avons conçu cette campagne We've Got the Swing dans le but de promouvoir la participation de Rogers à la Fraser Bank Maurice Open. Ce grand tournoi que comme vous le savez, est un tournoi majeur sur le circuit professionnel international et surtout le plus important événement sportif jamais organisé à Maurice et dans la région. Donc, nous ne sommes pas peu fiers parce que ce tournoi que nous accueillons à travers notre filiale Heritage Resorts et que Rogers parraine, il aura lieu du 30 novembre au 3 décembre au superbe domaine de Bellon. Ce tournoi va certainement, pour la 3e année, vraiment attirer l'attention internationale sur notre île. Juste pour vous donner quelques chiffres rapidement, on parle de 4 jours de tournoi avec 42 chaînes de télévision qui vont retransmettre en live 4 heures par jour, donc du direct à Maurice, et une diffusion qui va toucher à peu près 450 millions de foyers dans le monde. Donc autant dire que la visibilité est exceptionnelle. Et je ne parle même pas des retransmissions qui durent pendant à peu près 3 mois. Donc, c'était une occasion pour nous à saisir, donc cette visibilité exceptionnelle, tant en local qu'à l'international. C'était une occasion pour nous de faire valoir un petit peu et mettre les projecteurs, diriger les projecteurs sur une cause que nous défendons depuis pas mal d'années maintenant, la cause donc environnementale. Vous verrez dans la petite présentation l'essence un petit peu de notre philosophie et les convictions de notre engagement. Nous avons en effet lancé, il y a quelques années maintenant, le programme Respect Our Coast. Ce programme nous a permis d'atteindre différents publics, les pêcheurs, les bateliers, les opérateurs qui gravitent un peu autour de nos côtes, de près ou de loin. Nous avons aussi pu faire l'éducation et de la prévention à travers, en atteignant les écoliers à travers le BIS la mer, que vous devez tous bien connaître maintenant et qui ne cesse de toucher vraiment les écoliers. Nous avons plus récemment lancé... Il y a le téléphone encore on. Nous avons plus récemment lancé Tikoulou. Donc c'est avec une grande fierté que nous avons apporté notre contribution aux aventures de Tikoulou en début d'année. Donc la légende de Bellon, vous pouvez voir la couverture. C'est encore une fois une de ces actions qui a pour but d'éduquer de manière ludique, un petit peu beaucoup plus enfin de manière différente surtout, nos jeunes générations à cette cause environnementale. Tikoulou s'intéresse est consacré vraiment à l'environnement et aux écosystèmes et vraiment met en lumière ce domaine de Bellon qui est vraiment un concentré de tout ce qu'on peut trouver à l'île Maurice au niveau de l'environnement. Donc dans cet effort d'engagement, nous avons choisi de créer la campagne We Swing for Our Cause, et ce pendant le Swing Tour qu'on va vous présenter dans la matinée. Vous verrez donc que We've Got the Swing, ça ne se focalise pas uniquement sur le golf. Cette campagne puise sa dynamique vraiment dans ça crée ça vient concilier nos convictions tant au niveau du golf et ça contribue au mieux-être des communautés. Mais vous, encore une fois, vous verrez plus tard. Nous allons aussi vous présenter notre invité de marque, Jérémy Poinçonneau. Jérémy nous vient des États-Unis. On va passer un moment avec Jérémy tout à l'heure. Vous comprendrez très vite pourquoi nous l'avons choisi pour être notre ambassadeur. Et notre ambassadeur, pas seulement dans notre démarche de lancer cette campagne, mais également dans notre cohérence avec notre philosophie dans l'environnement. Le parcours de Jérémy est édifiant en plus d'un titre et vous verrez pourquoi nous avons la chance ce matin de pouvoir l'écouter. Mais en attendant, je vais inviter Philippe Espiteri-Noël, CEO du groupe Rogers, à venir nous adresser quelques mots.
Cette petite cérémonie. Bienvenue à Jérémy, à Eric et aux membres de la presse. In a little more than 2 months, the Africa Bank Mauritius Open is coming back to Bellon within an environment which has been redone significantly. Refurbishment of the Telfair, refurbishment of the chateau, of the gardens, of the passageways, of some of the facilities of the golf course. And I think we are up for a very exciting tournament. A great field. We've got Louis Wisterson, for those who follow golf, who's currently 23rd world player, ranked 23rd world player, the highest ranked player we've had since the tournament has been launched 3 years ago. We've got Brandon Stone from South Africa. We've got George Kudzier, who's also coming back to try and win his challenge again from the first win he had in the first event. So we expect a great field, about 40 participants from Asia, some 40 best golfers from Europe and 40 of the best golfers from South Africa. So it should be a great event. This event, as Karine has mentioned, is also an event which provides significant visibility for Mauritius, for the Mauritius tourism industry, for the destination as a whole, for golf in Mauritius, which has really come up over the last 15, 20 years. But it also provides us with maybe additional initiatives, additional opportunities to tackle other dimensions that our country needs. Golf is a difficult game. And Sir Winston Churchill said, golf is a great game whose aim is to hit a very small ball into an even smaller hole with weapons singularly ill-designed for the purpose. So here's a quotation about how tough golf can be. And Jeremy, your determination demonstrates how significant challenges can be overcome. And I think when we read the words of Winston Churchill, and for those of you who have tried to play golf, it is not an easy task to master. You excel at this difficult game, and you will tell us more about it a little later on. As far as we are concerned, we have witnessed recently, over the last 10 days, the damage that cyclones can create. We have witnessed in the Caribbean with Cyclone Irma, winds of more than 300 kilometers for hours and hours, and an amount of damage which we've never seen before, due, at least some scientists believe, and most observers believe, to the warming up of the climate, the hotter sea surface, which are favoring conditions to create very, very powerful cyclonic winds, which end up destroying the best thing that we have, which is actually the quality of the planet and the quality of the island. Yes, our island also faces many challenges, and we need to focus and show more care for the beauty of our country and in terms of our own responsibility as to our do's and don'ts to make sure we protect our island. Our marine life is challenged beyond belief. It's amazing. We don't, unfortunately, in Mauritius have a lot of scientific work which has been done. But by the time one starts to look at it, it appears that a very, very big part of our natural ecosystem regarding our reefs, regarding our seashells, regarding our fish population has actually been depleted in a very significant manner. To an extent that some people are saying, can we really rejuvenate the amount of destruction that has been made? Our ecosystems have been weakened, our beaches are being eroded, and we are left with a fairly desolate scene, requiring major mobilization to overcome the difficulties. We need to start thinking about the legacy we leave to our children. When we were born, I myself, I can say, when I go to the seashore, the number of species I used to see, the number of seashells I used to be able to collect, hopefully dead on the beach, but at times I have to admit live in those days. And today, we hardly can show a live shell to some of our kids. So this is why Rogers has chosen to focus its CSR actions on the protection of our marine ecosystem. You are aware how we actually lead our corporate social responsibility under the good leadership of Audrey. We've been doing it for a number of years. We tend to spend more than half of our budget on one specific dimension over 4 to 6 years, because we believe it is that kind of mobilization that actually lead to pragmatic results. After spearheading a big campaign on the fight against the progression of HIV, 3 years ago, we chose to shift and to move to the protection of our marine ecosystems. We are, Rogers, a member of the United Nations Global Compact Initiative, and we are one of the few Mauritian companies. There's another 2 or 3, I think, in Mauritius who are members. And in 2012, we were identified in terms of best practices that ought to be followed in the fight towards inequality and in the way to actually move forward with modern inclusion, modern corporate social responsibility. So our fight against HIV was identified and was published as one of the ways in which the private sector should engage towards corporate social responsibility. We are the only company in the Indian Ocean to have ever received this recognition and to be referenced. Audrey, every now and then, is called upon to give talks as to how she goes about initiatives on corporate social responsibility. And the great news, which I am announcing today, which fell last week, is that for the second time, Rogers has been identified by the United Nations as being a practice and an example to follow in the corporate social responsibility deployment of the private sector. So in the 2017 yearbook, we are again featured in terms of our practices regarding the efforts we do to protect the marine ecosystems. So thank you, Audrey. Thank you to the team who are working very hard at it. I think they deserve a round of applause. To enhance awareness on the need to mobilize behind responsible behavior towards our ecosystem, we are embarking, as Karine said earlier on a 2-month campaign and a build-up towards the tournament which will take place at the end of November. The Swing for Our Coast campaign is therefore starting today. During those 2.5 months, the little net that we have here and the mat is going to be traveling around all our businesses to finally end up at the last week of November in Bellom, and will be present throughout the tournament physically in Bellom so that people can swing towards the net, towards the bullseye. That's what you have to hit. I managed to hit it early on, so I think I won't hit again because it's not an easy affair. And you will each have a chance to therefore practice your swing with Ludovic Bax, who, as you know, is one of the national champions, young national champions in golf, which we have been sponsoring since last year, and who is going to be traveling with the net in many of those businesses to actually provide some initiation to people who are interested to understand what golf is about and try to hit the ball. The good news is that whether you manage to hit the ball well or poorly or not at all, for each swing, we're going to record those added numbers to actually accumulate to whatever number we end up getting. And Rogers is committing for every swing to pick up a piece of trash. And if we guesstimate that a piece of trash is around 250 grams on average, ranging from a bottle opener to a bottle top to a full plastic bottle itself, we believe that basically 20 swings should give us probably about 1 kilo of trash, approximately. So we don't know how many swings we're going to get, but we want to get as many as possible. So the idea is to make sure we are recording those swings, and Rogers will mobilize and commit to pick up as many trash to clean up the environment in the southwest, which is the area where we have been focusing most of our efforts, given our initiatives, our investments in the Ballon area. As you probably have picked up, we have been developing the Ballon region by focusing on its USPs, which is the quality of the nature. We have a powerful natural environment in Ballon, which is nicely preserved, which range from 60 meters below sea level on the seabed, all the way up to the natural forest of Gorge de la Rivière Noire, where out of about 3% of natural forest left on the island, actually 2 over 3% is actually in the Gorge de la Rivière Noire. So when we look at the quality and the concentration of the ecosystem from the natural forest all the way to the seabed, we have very well kept ecosystems. That doesn't mean that we haven't made mistakes. We made mistakes in deforestation when we planted sugar. We made mistakes when we did real estate developments. We made mistakes when we've developed our own hotels. Now everybody says it's got to be 30 meters from high water mark. When we did it even 10 years ago, we could build at 15 meters from the high water mark. And in a number of years, what we've picked up in Ballon is that the beach is eroding quickly. And at the current rate, by 2030, some of the buildings we have on the coast would have been in the water. So we work hand in hand with government and the various institutions to find a mechanism whereby we have responsible intervention to protect the assets that we have in the quality of the beaches, and also to intervene in the manner in which we touch the corals. So for example, with the artificial reefs that we've done, all the coral that was there have been picked up, have been kept alive, and are actually being re-glued to the reefs, to the artificial reefs that we've created. And here again, we've worked with some Australian scientists to work towards interesting solutions. And what has been found is that if you put the black volcanic boulders that we have in Mauritius in the sea, it does the trick as far as creation of artificial reefs is concerned, but it doesn't attract any life. Coral and algae don't really actually grow on volcanic boulders. So around the world, work has been done, and the material that has been identified as being the best material for reproduction and growth of coral life and sea life is actually cement. Cement is originally made of sand, and if you glue live coral on cement, it actually grows. And as it spawns, it will settle on the cement and it will grow as well. So what has been done now, beyond the black rock that you will see if you go to Ballon, is we've placed many pieces of cement artificial reefs with fish caves, which is now actually being used to repopulate the lagoon. So very responsible type behavior. Like Jeremy will testify, in the face of adversity, we must have a can-do attitude. We must focus with determination to overcome the challenges. The famous biologist and the one who's invented vaccine, I believe, Louis Pasteur said, "Let me tell you the secret that has led me to my goal. My strength lies solely in my tenacity." Jeremy, your tenacity and resolve is an inspiration for us all. And we are proud that you have accepted to be our swing ambassador. Welcome. Thank you.
Alors, Jérémy Poinçonneau. Jérémy Poinçonneau. He's a professional, inspirational speaker who shares his story to audiences around the world. He has been featured frequently on TV, including MTV's True Life and ABC's 2020. CNN.com has called him the best golfer in the world, just not in the sense that you might be thinking. He's hoping that a little bit of storytelling will encourage you by providing perspective and sharing how we can all use the strength around us to be stronger. Get ready to laugh and to be inspired, and we welcome Jérémy Poinçonneau. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go no mic. Does that work for you? Vous m'entendez derrière? C'est bon? Merci bien. Okay, my name is Jeremy Poinçonneau, as Karine mentioned. First, I'd like to thank Karine. I'd like to thank PD. I'd like to thank Rogers for having me, and thank all of you for coming here to support the cause. I'm going to share a little bit about my story, tell you a little bit about myself, and hopefully what we can do to help make a difference with what Rogers is trying to accomplish. Life is filled with obstacles. It's inevitable. We can't avoid them. But in golf, as in life, it's up to the follow-through and how we overcome these obstacles. Just over 8 years ago, when I was a 19-year-old sophomore in college, I remember I was walking around on campus one day at school, and I noticed I had to squint to read a sign. For me, that was abnormal because I had perfect vision my whole life. So I did what any other 19-year-old in college would do in that situation. I called my mom. I said, "Hey Mom, I think I need glasses or contacts. I'm not sure which. Can you set up an optometrist appointment? Let me know when it is. Call me back. Love you. Bye." That's how I talked to my mom. I went and saw the optometrist, and he did the normal tests on me. I'm sure you've all done it. What do you see better with? 1 or 2, 2 or 3, 3 or 4. And everything was routine until he had me cover my left eye. When I covered my left eye, I couldn't see anything on the eye chart. I couldn't even see the big E. I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to need some thick glasses. I thought that's not going to be a problem. I'll get those glasses, go back to school, still be accepted by my friends, not a problem. But the optometrist wasn't as optimistic as I was. He said, "Jeremy, I need to run some more tests on you. I need to call your parents in, and we need to discuss what's going on." I go take some more tests, go back in his office. Both my parents are in the room. And he says, "Jeremy, I think you have one of 2 things." He said, "I think you either have something that's called a pituitary adenoma," which to this day I have no idea what that is. Or he said, "Jeremy, I think you might have a brain tumor." In November 2008, I went and got an MRI done to check and see if I had a brain tumor. And thankfully, found out I did not have a brain tumor. But over the next 2 months, my family and I, we went on what we call a medical mystery tour, where we went and saw multiple different doctors, and I was misdiagnosed with several different disorders. I had a catheter put in my hand for 5 days. They pumped steroids into me every single day and said that would help. I got a spinal tap done. They stick a large needle in your back, drain fluids, and run tests on those. And I had a catheter in my jugular for 10 days, cords dangling out of my neck. So I would lay in a hospital bed every other day for those 10 days as I did a treatment that they said would help, but didn't. And in this 2-month span, my vision drastically deteriorated and spread from just my right eye to both eyes. And it went from perfect vision in 2 months to where it is now. I am now legally blind with no central vision due to a rare genetic disorder I had no idea I had, called the Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, or LHON. LHON happens to only 1 in 50,000 people. And unfortunately, it has no treatment and no cure. Put my vision in perspective for you. What does it mean to have no central vision? If you could for me, please, put both of your hands together like this and put them directly in front of your face. And look around the room a little bit with your hands directly in front of your face like that. That's what my vision's like all the time. Because of this, I'm no longer able to read. Imagine going on a date with a woman you're trying to impress, and you have to ask her to read you the menu like you're 5 years old. I'm no longer able to drive. I had to hand my car keys back over to my parents at 19 years old and forfeit the independence of driving. And I'm no longer able to distinguish faces. Do you know how hard it is to know someone for years, and how every time you see them, you have to swallow your pride and ask who it is because you're unable to recognize them? I was devastated. I was depressed. I thought, why me every single day for months? I didn't know that you could go legally blind in 2 months at 19 years old. And there wasn't some type of a shot, a pill, a surgery, something that could fix it. I just couldn't comprehend it. At this time, I left college and I went back to my parents' house. And I pretty much laid on the couch in their living room and resided on that couch every single day. And I was sleeping in every single day on that couch until noon, 1 in the afternoon, which for a 19-year-old is not that abnormal. We like to sleep in. I was doing it every single day, though. And my dad came up to me one day. He said, Jeremy, you should wake up earlier. Get your day started sooner and be more productive. Maybe that will help you be happier. And my response was, Dad, when I'm sleeping, in my dreams, I see 20/20. I see perfect. I see perfect in my dreams. When I wake up, I'm legally blind. Where would you rather be, Dad? Where would you rather be? And that's the tough world I lived in, where I would rather be sleeping in a dream state where I could see than wake up and be hit with this harsh reality of being legally blind again. During this time in San Diego, California, where I'm from, there's a big news story going on. An F-18 plane crash-landed in San Diego and destroyed a couple houses. The pilot, the only one in the plane, ejected safely and he survived. But from the wreckage, 4 people died from this accident. It was a man's wife, his mother-in-law, and his only 2 children were the only 4 people to perish from this accident. And for some reason, while I was on that couch in my parents' living room, I had the TV on and had the news on TV. And they held a press conference for this guy. And he came up to the podium, bawling his eyes out, crying. And he said, if anyone knows how to deal with this type of tragedy, please help me. And when I heard him say that, I thought, wow, this is a reality check for me. What this guy just went through is unimaginable. He just lost 4 family members. And he's not up there complaining about his situation. He's asking for help and how to best move forward. And so I decided from that moment forward, I would no longer complain about being legally blind. I would no longer complain about what had happened to me. I was going to do the best I could to go day by day, focus on what I had, and move forward with that. Because as I mentioned, it's about the follow-through that helps us get from where we are to where we want to be. At this time, I didn't want to go back to college. I thought I had a good time for a year and a half, but it was going to be easier to drop out of college. But one of my best friends, Josh, he called me. He said, come back to school and take 2 easy classes. And in my 5-class schedule, I'll take those same 2 classes with you. And that's exactly what he did. I came back to school the following semester. I didn't miss a semester. And I took 2 easy classes. My class schedule was Intro to Music and Intro to Film. That's it. That's all I took. But Intro to Film for a blind guy was actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Josh and I showed up the first day of class. We sat in the front row, said, okay, I'm going to find a way to get through this whole college thing. We're going to make it work. And the professor comes in. He says, welcome to Intro to Film. Thank you for signing up for my course. For those of you who want to appreciate the best type of films, you got to understand the best cinema are silent films. Here's an hour and a half of Charlie Chaplin. That was my nightmare. Thankfully, the class was not Intro to Silent Films, and it got a lot better after that. But Josh took those same 2 classes with me in his 5-class schedule. He helped me walk to and from class. He helped me tell the professors that I was legally blind and I needed accommodation. And he helped me study for the exams in the classes, which helped me pass those classes. What Josh did for me was monumental. It was life-changing. I graduated from college with a degree in business in 2013, and I know this would not have been possible had it not been for what Josh did for me. In life, we're so inwardly focused. We think so much about ourselves. What can we do to make our own lives better? But like Rogers, we got to look around at other people, our community, and wonder, I wonder how he's doing. I wonder what she's going through. What can we do to make their lives better? Because each and every single one of us has the power to impact someone's life the way Josh impacted mine. Each and every single one of us has the power to change someone's life. Think about that. Growing up, I was an athlete. I love sports. My favorite sport growing up was golf. I played 3 years of varsity in high school, and I played every Sunday from when I was 12 till I was 17 with my dad. It was our bonding time, our ritual, how we became so close. If I beat my dad on a Sunday, I'd give him a hard time the whole next week. If he beat me, I wouldn't stop hearing about it from him. But it's how my dad and I became such good friends. So I was especially devastated after losing my sight to think I could never play the game I love ever again. My mom, who's incredible, she came up to me one day. She said, Jeremy, there's such thing as the USBGA, the United States Blind Golf Association. And these golfers play in tournaments all over the world. I said, Mom, that's really cute. But when do blind people play golf? I thought she was kidding. I thought she was telling me a joke to boost my spirits. I said, haha, Mom, you made me laugh today. Good job. Tell me another joke tomorrow. But she was serious. There is such thing as blind golf, and there are tournaments all over the world. Now, you can't go drop me off at the Heritage and say, have fun, Jeremy. No, I'd be lost. But every blind golfer has a guide, someone who helps them out on every single shot. And for me, that was an easy choice. My dad. My dad is my guide in every competitive round of blind golf that we play in. What we do on the course is my dad points in the direction I want to hit the shot. I try to envision where he's pointing. I have no idea where he's pointing. I step over the ball, and from behind he looks at how my feet are lined up. He says, go a little more right, go a little more left. Okay, you're good. And I hit the shot, and we do that the whole way around the course. Our first tournament together was in California, and it was an interesting experience. There was a lot of bickering, a lot of fighting back and forth between my dad and I. Because I see it as with blind golf, there's some perks to this. I think there's some good, believe it or not. I see it as for every good shot I hit, it's all me, I'm the man. For every bad shot I hit, it's my dad's fault. I've got someone to blame it on. I think it's great. He doesn't really agree with me, but we're working on that. He'll come around. He'll come around. Our next tournament together was the National Championship of Blind Golf in San Antonio, Texas in 2009. Now, in blind golf, there are 3 different sight categories. There are B3s, which is from legally blind to a little bit worse. There are B2s, which is my sight category, which is worse than a B3, but not totally blind. And then there are the B1s, who are totally blind, and they can't see a thing. And so in the first round of the national championship, I'm paired with a B1, someone who's totally blind. His name is John Casolo. John is 80 years old, from Connecticut. He's half my size. And he's always got his guide dog, Hallie, with him. Now, let me explain to you something about golf for those you might not know. In golf, you want to shoot the lowest score possible, right? The lowest number is the best. So anything under 100, that's good. That's good. 101 to 125, it's not really good, but it's not horrible. We can get better. 126 to 150, you should probably practice more, take some more lessons. You shoot anything over 150, you shoot 151 or above, you should sell your clubs on eBay and pick up a totally different sport. At that point, golf is not really for you. I'm just trying to be honest. And so in the first round of the national championship, my dad and I, we go out and we shoot a 97. I was so mad. I said, Dad, you lined me up wrong on so many different shots. On the third hole, the tee shot, that was your fault. The fifth hole, the chip shot, again, all you. And the eighth hole, the 3-putt, I'll never forgive you. Walk away. Leave me alone. Don't go too far. And we kept fighting back and forth. John Casolo came in, and John shot a 324. He shot a 324. That's astronomically horrible. I don't care if you've never played golf in your entire life. You could go out today and you would beat a 324. That's really bad. I go and shake John's hand after the round. I say, John, it was nice playing with you. He said, Jeremy, I had a great day today. Thank you. When he said that, I thought, what an idiot. Not him, but me. All of a sudden, I'm like, well, oh my gosh, here's another reality check. Here I am. Yeah, I'm legally blind, but I can still see some. I shoot a 97, and I'm mad at the world arguing with my dad. Here's John Casolo, who's totally blind, can't see a thing. He shoots a 324. Do you know how long a round of golf that was? That was a long day. And he says he just had the time of his life that day. I learned something from John that day. That not only in golf, but in life, we need to enjoy our experiences more in the present moment. We need to not get so caught up on what we think needs to happen for us to then be happy. We need to be thankful for the people we're surrounded with in that present moment and what we're doing at that time. John taught me to focus on the good rather than dwell on the negative. Because where focus goes, energy flows. So he taught me to focus on the good. So I said to my dad that day, I said, Dad, tomorrow let's play more like John Casolo and let's not argue as much. And let's see how that works out. And we went out the next day and we shot an 88. We shot 9 shots better, tied for second, lost in a playoff and finished third. The next tournament my dad and I were invited to play in was the World Blind Golf Championship in England in 2010. Yes, there's such thing as a World Blind Golf Championship. My dad and I went out there with one goal, one purpose. We wanted to enjoy the experience as if we were John Crisolo. After the 2-day tournament, we did exactly that. As I'm walking off the course, a large British guy, bigger than me, taller than me, grabs me by the shoulder, spins me around, says, "Jeremy, you tied for the win. You're going to a playoff." I'm in this playoff against a guy from England, and we both have short chip shots to the green. What I do differently for these short chip shots is I'll walk the amount of paces or yards it is from the ball to the hole. I vividly remember walking the 19 paces to the flag. There was an audience behind the green watching to see who would win the world championship, and I thought, how many times in my life am I going to have this experience where I'm in the world championship, in a playoff with an opportunity to win, and there's an audience watching? I gotta soak this up. So I smile and I wave to the crowd. I go back to my shot. And what my dad and I do differently for these short chip shots is, since I'm unable to see the flag, my dad will stand in between me and the flag. I'll line up to his backside. I'll tell him he's good. He moves out of the way, and I hit the shot. Once it came off the club, it came off perfect. I thought I hit it really close. As it's rolling out, I can't see it anymore, but I hear it hit something. That threw me off, so I turn to my dad. He yells, "It went in." I threw my hat up in the air. I caught it. Everything after that was a blur. Well, no pun intended, but it was unbelievable. We ended up chipping it in to win the World Championship in 2010, and it was by far the coolest experience of my entire life. What's especially cool about the experience is, if Louis Wu stays and wins the golf tournament, congratulations, Louis, how does it feel? Whereas I didn't win the World Championship. My dad and I did together as a team. And we get to share that bond and that experience forever. And I realized that in that moment when we got the trophy for winning the World Championship, my dad was getting just as much enjoyment out of the experience as I was. And it made me realize that, yeah, I'm not going to be as independent as I once was since losing my sight, and I'm going to have to be a little bit more dependent on others. But it's not black and white. You're either independent, and if you're not, you're therefore dependent. There's this beautiful middle area of interdependence, where my dad and I as a team get to interdependently compete in blind golf tournaments. There's a beauty to interdependence where we should be comfortable in asking others for help more. And as a team, work towards getting results together. I'm able to see the power of interdependence now more clearly than ever before. Since winning the World Championship, I've had phenomenal experiences and opportunities. I've been flown out to Japan and China to raise awareness of blind golf. I'm able to be here with all of you this morning and spend the week here with you in Mauritius, which is unbelievable. If you were to come up to me after my presentation this morning and say, "Jeremy, I've got something that will give you your vision back. Do you want it?" I would say no. I'm happier today at 27 years old and legally blind than I was at 19 years old and fully sighted. Because I don't take as many things for granted anymore. I focus more on the good, like this peripheral vision I do have, rather than dwell on the negative, like the central vision I don't have. And let me tell you, when we learn that we're all going to face obstacles in our life, that it's inevitable, but we learn that, like in golf and in life, it's about the follow-through that gets us through to overcoming those obstacles. It opens our eyes to see things we may have never seen before. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.